Welcome to the Mindset for Runners podcast, helping you to access and unlock your true potential as an athlete.
Before we get into the episode today, I want to let you know that on the 16th of January, if you're a community member, we're going to be starting 2025 with an awesome Kickstart webinar called A Runner's Guide to Owning 2025. Now, if you're not a member of the community, it's so easy. You can just join by going to robmasonruns.com.au, clicking on community. You get the first month free. It's only $8 a month, and you get to be in a like-minded group of runners. You get accountability through me. You get access to me. We share heaps of resources, heaps of mindset stuff. And every month you get to join us for the monthly masterclasses that we do in our online programs. So just do it now if you want to join. robmasonruns.com.au, click on join the community, get the first month free, and you'll be able to do our Kickstart call for the year on the 16th of January. I really hope you join us. And as always, enjoy the episode. Hey, it's Rob. Welcome to this episode of the podcast. I'm so excited to kick off 2025. I hope you had a great Christmas and New Year's. And let's kick off with a topic that might even be the theme for your 2025, but it's how to stay more relaxed as you run. And let's get straight into it. Why do we even bother? What's the point of this? Why don't we just get out there and tense our muscles up and clench our jaw and really try and fight our way through our run? And the short answer is it's uneconomical. It's not, quite frankly, it's not the way that the best runners in the world do it. If you look at someone like a Eliud Kipchoge or a Dina Castor, you really see how they relax the whole way through their run and seem to even relax when they're really putting on the speed to try and chase someone down or put a gap on their opponents. And we can learn from those runners to take it into our running and everyday. So when you run in a tense state or with tension, say your shoulders are up and your jaw might be contracted, or you might just be holding your body in a tense state, what you're actually doing is burning more energy than you need to. So to hold a contraction in a muscle, that requires energy, right? So if you're tense across your shoulders and back, or if you're slumped, or if you're, as I said before, clenching your jaw, you are obviously burning through more energy than if you're in a relaxed state, right? We're also holding back our breathing, because when you are tense, it's more likely that you're taking shorter breaths and you're breathing in the top part of your chest instead of nice and deep diaphragmatic breathing, if you like. You're also restricting your range of movement. So if you've got tension, say in your hips or in your shoulders, you're holding the range of movement in a more restricted phase. So you're not letting your arms swing freely, and you're not actually letting your legs move through their full range of motion. And so this is obviously going to impact in your running form. It's also going to increase your fatigue level at a faster rate. So you're going to get tighter quicker because, once again, you're burning through more energy than you need to, but it's also tiring. I mean, imagine just standing in one spot and holding tension in your body. It can be quite exhausting, even if you're not running. Also, when you're in a tense state, you're sending a feedback loop to your brain saying that you're preparing for, like something to attack you, or you're in kind of a threat state. So that tension, it's like you're anticipating something is going to happen. And so your brain is also then readying yourself for the fight, flight, freeze stage. And we want to send a message to our body that we're relaxed, that this is easy, and we can continue doing this for a long time. And that's how we're going to approach this episode when we move into the how phase. So just understanding maybe a bit more about why we are tense as we run. And we're going to go more to the mental side of this in this next piece than we would with the physical side. As you know, I'm not a physical coach, I'm a mental skills coach, and I want to work on that side with you so that you can help yourself relax through using the mental strategies. So once again, when you're tense, it's likely that something is going on mentally that's causing the tension. Now let's just kind of brainstorm a few things that could be going on here. Maybe you're trying to get your run perfect or your run right, or maybe your coach has given you 6 by 1K efforts with a 2-minute rest in between, and you want to make sure you nail every effort exactly at the right pace or heart rate or intensity or rate of perceived exertion, whatever your coach has set you for the day. And so that thought, I really want to get this right, can lead you to go into some form of perfectionism, if you want to call it that, or just, having an expectation on the run. And that mindset can then relate into your muscles because you're saying, I have to get this right. This is so important. This session is everything. And that kind of state of mind can actually, damage your performance because you're not going to run and relax. You're going to have less range of movement. You're going to get more fatigued, more tired, faster, if you like. So maybe you just consider thinking about that of in the past when you've been tired and when you've been running with tension, what's been mentally behind it? Have you been trying to hit a certain time, pace, beat a certain person? You have a certain expectation. And maybe that'll help you understand, well, if I've had this expectation, maybe if I change my expectation or took a different mindset, that would help me relax. And therefore my performance would actually improve. This mindset stuff, I know it sounds weird to think, how can my mindset affect the tension in my muscles? But that's what we want to work on in this episode. So let's move into the how. So you do get some practical stuff here because we need to understand, now we understood why, we need to understand how we do it so that we can start to improve our enjoyment of our run. When we enjoy our run, we are going to run better and have, dare say, better results. So a few of the hows we're going to work into. You've heard me say a few of these before. I'm going to give you a couple of new ones as well. Let's start with a body scan. And you can do it right now. If you're out for a run, if you're doing the washing up, or if you're driving, wherever you are, you can do a body scan right now. And all the body scan is just imagine, I imagine one of those 3D laser beams like you're kind of in a nightclub or something, going down from the top of my head moving all the way down my body, and I scan my body for tension. So it starts at the scalp. Is my scalp tense? Oh, there it is a little bit. I can let that go. As it goes down over the temples, there's, I've got a tightness in my scalp and temples. Over your forehead, pardon me, over your brow, maybe your eyes. You hold a lot of tension sometimes around your eyes. And even just scanning like this, you may have already noticed where the tension's been held in your body. You can do this as you run. As you go down at the jaw, a lot of us hold a lot of tension in our jaw. So you can just relax that. Your neck and shoulders, if you like, you can move them around. But the first step is, where am I tense? And then the second thing is, how do I let it go? And normally with tension, awareness is just enough. As soon as you go, I didn't realize I was holding my shoulders up. That's just normally enough for you to go, there it is. And you scan down. Am I holding my breath, especially running down hills? One of my things that I've really learned about myself over the years is, as I ran down hills, I would hold my breath and realize, I'd be looking at my heart rate monitor sometimes going, what? I should be cruising down a hill, but my heart rate's going up. It's because I was holding my breath and I had the brakes on. So that was also affecting my running form and definitely my speed and my with eccentric contractions, which is when your muscle is elongated and then you're putting under load down a hill. I was really hurting myself by holding my breath and feeling like there was a threat coming by running down the hill. So I've really told myself to trust my feet and relax and breathe out as I'm running down the hills. So as you continue that body scan, you go all the way down your body and you're just scanning for tension and letting it go. So that's kind of the first mindset tip for how to relax as you run. A mantra. Let's go to mantras or statements or words that you use. And I'd like to just give you a couple of such simple ones. The one I use is relax, Meso. And you'll notice the tonality, relax, Meso. So Meso is my nickname, and we've learned before, when you use self-talk in the third person, it has a higher effect on the outcome. So the effect size is higher when you say your name or you use the word you instead of I. So if I say relax, Meso, that helps me in that tonality, almost like I'm having a hypnotic induction from somebody or doing a meditation. And that helps me remember, that's right, I'm supposed to relax. And I'll say this to myself over and over and over and over again as I run. Breathe, Meso. That's another one, breathe. And sometimes the fastest way to control your breathing is to do a big sigh out. So if you ever listen to Andrew Huberman, he talks about the physiological sigh, which is a long breath taken in, followed by a short breath, followed by a long exhale. And this is the way that we put ourselves into the rest and digest parasympathetic state of our body. So it sounds something like this. That would have sounded so weird on the audio, but there's a long breath, then a short breath, and then a long exhale. Now, let's have a quick look at this. The sympathetic is a fight or flight stress response when we're going into a threat state, right? So it's preparing our body to fight or flight from some threat. Now that means we tense our muscles, the blood flows to our muscles. I'm sure you've heard all this stuff before, but we're getting ready to be attacked or to have to perform in some way to save ourselves, right? But when we are deep breathing, sighing out, relaxing, we're signaling to our brain that everything's fine. Everything's okay. As I'm running, I'm doing this big diaphragmatic breathing in my belly. I'm taking my time, I'm chilled and I'm relaxed. Even if I'm going quite quickly, I can still tell myself, this is easy, I'm breathing, relax. And that's telling my brain, there's nothing to worry about. This is all good, we're cruising. And that's the state we want to be in as we're running. I hope this is making sense, and I hope you're getting something. There's a couple of great studies. I actually read a couple of these studies. I won't get too much into them, but the research was around smiling versus frowning as you run. So it was actually pretty cool research. So the participants who were told to smile as they were doing, I think they were doing 70% of VO2 max, like repeats, and they were told to smile. They had a lower oxygen consumption, and they also had a lower heart rate compared to the control group. And the control group, did nothing. But as usual in the study, there were three groups. One was told to smile, one was told to frown, and there was a control group which was told nothing, just run normally. And so what they found was, having a lower oxygen consumption during smiling. I mean, come on, what more do you need to be convinced by this? I'll link this on the show notes. But this is interesting stuff for me, because when we can make these small changes, like a smile as you run, that can be just the catalyst that changes your year in running, if that's all you take away from today. All right, let's keep moving on with the hows. We also, good form. So good form can help us relax because it overcomes the tension that you might be holding. For example, if you weren't going to run with, one of my mantras again, tall strings. This is from Matt Cooper, the amazing Matt Cooper. Tall strings above. So imagine there's a rope or a fishing line in the top of your head, pulling yourself up towards the sky, and that'll elongate your body and instantly make your form, better. So that's tall strings or run tall or something like that. And that helps you to get better range of movement and just better running form in general. And also, swinging your arms. So Robert De Castelli used to talk about, he played a game with himself where he would try and force his elbows down. So he'd hold his elbows down because, as you probably know, I'm certainly familiar with this, my shoulders tend to creep up as I run. And so I took on Deeks's, cue of keeping those elbows down. One of my favourite, someone I still work with today, Lawrence Van Lingen, he teaches a couple of running cues, and one of them is more angel, less zombie. If you've ever seen Lawrence's work, it's excellent. I highly recommend you check him out. So the angel, imagine an angel has wings, and so her chest is out, her heart is open, and her elbows are back. Whereas a zombie, the zombie is hunched over and the arms are forward. So he tells you to run like an angel with your chest out and your arms back. And these kind of form things can really help with relaxation. All right. Another one I want to that's really helped me this year, again, this comes from Lawrence and also from Martin Fryer, is relaxing your ankles as you run. Now, this might sound like a weird one, but try it on your next run, even just for a few, steps or a few hundred meters. But you want to really try and relax your ankles so that so the tension comes out of your ankle joint. And then what happens when you relax your ankles is it also relaxes your legs and up to your hip flexors. So it loosens your hips as well. Now, all of this stuff, all of these cues are getting back to a more relaxed running state, which gives you a better running form, less oxygen consumption, as we learned from the study, and you're burning less fuel to do the same thing as if you were tense. All right. Hope you follow me. I've given you a lot of stuff so far in this episode, but let's get back to the mindset to finish it off. Letting go. So letting go is a phrase that you probably heard a lot of, but what does it actually mean? Well, you've got to kind of follow it on, because if you're letting go, it presupposes that you're holding on to something. And when you're holding on to something, it's kind of like you're trying to control something. So if you're tense, you can ask yourself, what am I trying to hold on to, or what am I trying to control? And this conversation can really lead you somewhere as you run, because if you can identify that thing that you're trying to hold on to, or the tension that you're holding, then you can have the awareness, and then you can actually say to yourself, let it go. I can pick it up after the run. I can worry about that thing after the run, or I can schedule it, or maybe you can deal with it straight away, make a decision while you're in the run. Some of my best decisions, are made at the 8 or 9 kilometer mark of a 10K run, for example. I'm going to get to visualization. Visualization is incredibly important for runners, and I bang on about it a lot. But you can visualize as you're running. So you can imagine, again, like a body scan, or you can imagine something that reminds you to relax. It might be just an image of someone you know who's relaxed and you run like they run, or it might be a visual representation of how you relax. It might be a color, it might be a shape, it might be your favorite place that you go. It might be, it might be a place in the world that you've been that just helps you to, as an anchor or a reminder, to relax as you run. You can also do guided visualizations for relaxing when you're not running, to help you if it's a real problem for you. And intention. I am going to talk about intention. I always say the same thing, that before I do every run, I do two things: intention and gratitude. And intention is, what's the energy you're going to bring to this run? And it can be anything you want it to be. But that intention from this episode might be for you to relax on this run. So it might be intention and gratitude. My intention is to relax, or to practice my body scan. My intention on this run is to practice relaxing. And my gratitude, is that, oh my gosh, how many things can you be grateful for? I'm so lucky that I can actually run. I get to run in a free country where I can do this. I have the health to be able to run. I have the fitness, I have the desire, I have the drive, all of those things that you put in. But the intention is something that you keep coming back to remind yourself to relax, or to remind yourself why you're out there for that run. All right, we've covered a lot. We've covered the problems of having tension. We've covered how that you can relax in the run, and then giving you some mindset strategies. And I particularly want you to just think about that weird one, which is, what's the kind of the root cause of the tension? Because if you're always going out and running in tension, with tension, maybe maybe there's something that you can look at in terms of your mindset as a whole, that you maybe taking your running too seriously, for example. That might be it, or it might be something completely different. It might be something that you're dealing with in your life, or some stress that you're dealing with in your life, and that's transforming into your running. And if you can find a way to change your mindset around that, even just for the short time that you're out for the run, it's really going to help you produce those really good neurotransmitters and endorphins as you're running, and letting go of the stress and the tension as you go. All right. I really hope you got something out of this podcast that you can take into your next run. As always, thank you for spending your precious time listening to this podcast. I do hope you join the community, and we've got our Kickstart call coming up, as mentioned at the start of this podcast, on the 16th of January. Join the community. It's $8 a month. You get the first month free to see if you like it. And there's heaps of good people in that community. We share a lot of great, content and ideas and resources every month. While the courses are running, you get access to the masterclasses, and you get to interact with me in the community. And it's just a great community of like-minded people, just like you, who are out there running, being better people, and it's just the highlight of my business, to be honest. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the Mindset for Runners podcast. I hope you got something practical and useful out of this podcast, or something inspiring to help you get out for your next run. If you have a question about Mindset for Runners or athletes in general, please email me at robmason.run@gmail.com and I'll answer your question on an upcoming podcast. And if there's anybody you know who could benefit from the information I share in this podcast, please share it with them. See you next time.